Welcome to Mindscapes, our series of conversations with men and women whose ideas, vision and philosophy define our contemporary world. My guest today is known as Papaji to more than 15,000 children all over India. He leads the SOS Children's Villages movement, a unique concept which seeks to provide surrogate families for children abandoned, destitute, or orphaned. I'm delighted to welcome Mr. J N Kaul.
Thank you very much.
So, Kaul, how does it feel to be Papaji to that many children?
Well, it started very humbly in green fields. Quite a number of my children would walk like I would walk, talk like I would talk. And one day, one of these, Papaji ja rahe hain. And it caught on.
You were then working with the Delhi administration as a welfare officer.
Yes, a gazetted officer.
And
quite
broke
a few
out
things.
of the security of a government job to pursue this dream.
Well, there are many kinds of securities a human being is looking for. Very true, a government job is very secure, very little to do, very few explanations. But somehow or other it never gave me that inner satisfaction which I was looking for. And even though something I could do a little, something really undefined. I wouldn't tell you that I had this great vision and I would do this and I will do that. But something very nice, something human.
And so the SOS Children's Villages were born on the first village. What was the basic guiding philosophy, the model? What was it seeking out to do?
Very simple, very simple. It's almost kind of replicating an ordinary household. Children who have lost parents, who have nobody to look after them. You know, a child needs someone to look after. The best is a family, but something very near the family. And that is what SOS is, something very near the natural family. We want to almost construct a family. Look for a woman who is looking for children, who is looking for a house, who is looking for security of love, of care, of caring, that kind of a thing. And I found quite a few of them. And we have very large numbers in this country today even. And
are these women who assume the role of mothers themselves destitute?
I'm not very fond of that, really, that word destitute. A woman in love with children who has not been able to get that love. She has not married, she looks for a few children with whom she can play, she can feed them, she can call them, she can rebuke them, ye nahi kiya, wo nahi kiya, that kind of a thing. You have to find this woman. And there's no comparison to the Indian woman. I'm not comparing with other parts of the world, but when you look, this woman knows to give. She gives, and she gives. I had this personal experience, my own mother, how much she gave me. My own many friends who have been women, how much they give to the world. They don't demand anything. And these SOS mothers, they are beautiful women. I mean, that is the whole description one can use.
How do you find them? What is the process of...
Well, you look for them really by word of mouth, but then you advertise a lot. You write to many organizations, you write to friends, you write to whosoever you think can help, that kind of a thing. And they say, oh yes, I know that woman, probably. Why don't you try, Mr. Kaul? And you get in touch. And when I had this first batch of women, and quite a few of them are still very much alive and kicking, although old. Now we have a retired mother's home and green fields again. And you have to see how beautifully they live, their small room, how they children come to them, Mama theek ho, kuch laएं तुम्हारे लिए. One of the mothers, Asha, got sick. You can imagine the children who have looked after her so well.
So we have this model where you have the mother, and then you have
the
children.
mother, a few children, 8 or 9 children.
And they live
Actually,
in
in the residence, about 7 or 8. A few grown up who go to the studies, and the rest is all normal, very normal.
So you have these families.
It is the family,
and
then the children go to study to different to schools, quite a few of them to universities, a larger number of them to many professions. We have today doctors, we have engineers, we have teachers, we have nurses. Well, I have even a few soldiers.
To get back to this model, so you have these families with mothers and children living in a home, and then you have clusters of homes which forms an SOS village.
A mother with a few children, siblings always together, boys and girls together, like a small family, very well structured, a young small baby. Then you have a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, a girl, a boy, that kind of a thing. And you prepare the children, you know, look, we are going to have a baby very soon, and that kind of a thing. And it's a normal family.
And then they live in clusters in a village, and that's what's called
what
SOS
is a
village.
village is now about 15 or 20 family houses, a small cluster of 5 houses. The first group experience for the child, he comes into the family. Then he has these 4 or 5 immediate neighborhood. Then the larger neighborhood of 15, 20 family houses spread over, very clean, beautifully arranged houses, very good houses, pakka houses, nice houses, well furnished. And the rest is they go to schools, the mother cooks, washes, sometimes takes help from the dhobi, sometimes, like we do in our normal middle-class families. And it is also the home for the mother. She is not a servant. She is the mother. She is not a house mother even. She is not a matron. She is a mother. I'm not talking of ideal women, koi Devi, Devta, not that. I mean, ordinary good women who have a heart and who have a good physique to work their day, prepare some nice meal. I will make you laugh. I asked one day one of my mothers, Kuldeep, in the morning, I said, how many chapatis you prepare a day? He said, Papa, it's 65 in the morning. Small incidents of life. You know, we have now about 32 children's villages around the country. We have also 122 other projects in the country. It has grown up as a big organization.
What about their religious persuasions, the question of faith, which can sometimes get contentious? How do you, with your basically secular commitment, how do you handle the different backgrounds and perspectives that children come from, the mothers, their faith?
Well, I think these are problems of adults, what you are talking about. I've had never any problem with children or mothers, and I'm not exaggerating. We meet, for instance, in the evening for prayer in every village throughout the country, a silent prayer, a prayer of thanksgiving, a prayer that gives you a lot of strength, that kind of a thing. And everyone joins. And if you talk of religion as an identity, I have very large number of Hindus, I have but I've never seen a child as a Hindu or a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Christian or any. For me, a child is a child.
What is the source of the funds for what you do? You do so much remarkable work, so many thousands of children.
Our funds come from friends all over the country. A very large number of and friends that we have, not only in the country but outside the country also. Very large number of sponsors, and our sponsorships are not very expensive, I must tell you. Very small amounts, from a very large number of. And then there are many good people who want to do a family house. The many nice individuals who come and say, look, I want to do this. I want to create a scholarship fund for your children who will go for engineering because I'm an engineer I like. So we have quite a few trusts who have come forward to help in this.
Do you sometimes feel frustrated that you have built these wonderful oases of joy and fulfillment for mothers and children, but in a large desert of abandoned children, of suffering and poverty?
What frightens me today, really, Rajiv, we don't give much attention in the ordinary family to the child. This is a very frightening aspect of the society. We are running after many things which are highly, attractive for us for the time being, but which do not have a lasting value. I'm not talking of idealism. I'm a very practical person. One has to make a good living. One has to work very hard. Good means to create resources and look after your family. But look after your family. What does that mean? A little time, more time for your child. We talk of values, for instance, a lot. The best value in the school can be given by the teacher himself, who must be secure, who must be satisfied, who must be laughing, who must be playing in the field, who must jump. For that kind of a thing will give the best value. We have created a large number of schools around the country now. From time 30 years back, we concentrated on building villages. We are now more and more going out of the villages, reaching out to the child in need. And beginning the new millennium, we are really now, I personally feel, we must reach the child who has not only physically lost the family, but also was the child from a broken family. And the number of broken families, I'm afraid, with urbanization and all that pressure on becoming a crorepati ekdam, that kind of a thing, without the real, that pressure drives away a large number of, or for sheer existence, for instance, migration from the rural areas, no land, no water to drink, hordes of people coming to the urban areas, and the child is the worst sufferer in this. It doesn't have even a yard of place to run about. If you look very seriously into a slum situation, the worst sufferer is the child.
You have, the SOS has been called in literally on an SOS to intervene when there was violence in Punjab, in Assam, when there are cyclones in Jammu and Kashmir, across the world.
We have really wanted to reach where we are needed most. For instance, I can give you many examples. Maharashtra, the earthquake, we were there the second day. I remember those full year, we looked after more than 2,000 children throughout to see that they are in the school, they get the food, they get the stationery to study. We have a beautiful village now in Latur, and we are creating a children's park, a huge children's park for the town of Latur, which we had promised at that time. Or go to the other extreme, the Orissa. I was there personally, and we have still more than 200 children, and we were helped by many organizations at that time to take care of them from the worst affected area. And we have created a new village now in Rourkela for the children who had lost everything. And there have been miracles I have seen in cyclone. 2 children coming to us, literally, as thrown by the waves, and still alive. That kind of a thing. Or man-made terrorism, man-made tragedies like terrorism in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. earlier sometimes in Punjab. We have a beautiful village in Rajpura, one of the best I can think of.
These children who are who come out of trauma are obviously also children with special needs in some ways.
Very difficult. I tell you of Jammu and Kashmir, we have a beautiful children's village in Jammu now built up already, and probably in November we will have the official dedication, though it has been functional for quite some time now. Literally from the barn in the villages they keep. We got 2 children literally from that when the whole household was wiped out by the terrorist action.
And the children who've seen their parents killed and murdered and
Dying,
brutalized.
yes, blood. And you have to meet this girl and this boy today. Now it is over. We didn't start with a village. We hired a few buildings in the city of Jammu and brought these children from different parts. And mothers, very good mothers, I tell you how much love and care they have given, and brought them back. And the children have gone to some of the best schools.
How do you, it's this aspect of love, compassion, of giving this to the child, creating community, all the sort of values that a child would find in an average home, and sometimes, as you were alluding, better than what is today, perhaps an average home. But to what degree do you, when there are special problems, as we've discussed about children who are victims of this, do you get in sort of professionals to work alongside the mothers, sociologists, psychologists, or do you have enough faith that in the all-encompassing love of a family, that these will settle down?
Think of India as great fortunes which we don't recognize. We don't need many psychiatrists. We need them when there is a need. I'm not denying their help. But we are still lucky that the kind of wealth we have, we don't recognize our strength in ourselves. Go into a family in this verse. See for yourself, leisurely, what is this woman doing to this child? And you feel the strength of our womanhood, how much she is giving. And then think of the thousands of members, friends, who have not even seen these children. They send their money to you, so look, Kaul, do something, look. Think of the organization that has been created. So not Mr. Kaul who is doing something big. No. I'm a very small part now. Yes, I had the fortune to work with a very good set of people from the very beginning. Many friends have come, and quite a few of them have gone away.
Sometimes things go wrong, as in any family?
Oh, yes.
How do you cope with that?
Oh, yes. I'm not saying that 100%. No, don't be under that. But only with some of those children who have come very late to us, who had seen too much, and perhaps where we were very confident that we can do something, probably overconfident. And also, I admit, where we could not say no, because we had taken a sister, how could we refuse a brother? We would like the brothers and sisters. But thank God, and touch wood, as they say, these are very, very small numbers. Hardly in 100, 1 or 2. Hardly, I tell you. And even those we have not said no. Even to those we have not said no. We have said, this is your home, come back. Let us see what we can do. Yes, there have been 3 or 4 very difficult mental problems, which we are dealing with, taking the help of the professionals, where we are not sure that we will succeed. You see, we are a family, we are not a hospital. We are not curing people, we are caring for, that kind of a thing. And we are liable to fail because there are many problems sometimes which we cannot cope up with. There we take help. We take a patient to a hospital. We have, of course, developed facilities, and most of the people, most of the time, have helped in a big way. They have given us a little favorable spot in the hospital or in the treatment, but it costs also a lot of money. But we have never said no to a child. And that is, the other day, I was not keeping so well. For the first time in my life, I have never known a fever or anything, but then you go through a major surgery, and what I find is how lucky I am. How many children throughout the country, how many adults, how many friends have written to me, have sent telegrams, have prayed for me and done. Now, for every mother, this is a great strength. They have not done this to Mr. Kaul. They have done to someone who they think that he cares. That is the tribute to the SOS mother, because she cares. And over the years, we have been very lucky, Rajiv, to have very good friends. I don't know if you would remember Mrs. Beg. She was with us 3 years after the beginning, and that was a very good contribution, a great freshness. We have many other friends. We have a very highly structured organization now with a holding trust, tributes to Dharamveera, who was our president for the trust. For long years of time, very distinguished citizens who come forward to give their time. I'm not distinguished, but I give my time, I give my attention for the love of it, for the job.
Also to sort of contextualize this, there is so much that you and your colleagues and the community that you have described so vividly have achieved. But there is also so much more that needs to be done. There are so many children who, this is looking at about 15,000 children. The children who are out of the system, who don't have access, will run into sort of hundreds of thousands.
Today, SOS literally reaches to more than 150,000 children every day through the school system, through the health care system, through the villages. Of course, you're talking of the few thousands who are in residence. But around the village, SOS has, in due course of time, developed services which reach out to a very large number of children. We work in communities. I work in a community not very far from this place, Palla, in the Mewat district. For the first time, a beautiful, well-integrated program. We're reaching more than 200 children who had never been to a school earlier. A large number of them, the girl child. Really, sometimes some of my colleagues tell me you are prejudiced for positively for the girl child. No, I think they need it. They need, and we reach out to a very large number of.
Isn't your sort of?
And in due course, SOS will reach through its program, extension programs, to a very large number of children, meeting their spiritual needs, meeting their educational needs of the children, meeting the needs of the growing up girls for their training in different, as nurses, for instance, as health workers, for instance, so that they create a revolution of love. That is the most important thing. That I am looking now at the children who live in the villages as the future facilitators of work with children at various levels in a very professional manner, as a matter of fact. We have now a mother school. Now we don't produce mothers, but we bring them in, and I have always wondered how much little attention has been given to the kitchen in this country. because we take most of our mothers, most of our women folk for granted. How much research goes into this, that this woman who's morning till evening really works in the household could save a little more time. On these real, life-giving or time-saving devices, we want to spend time on these. These are important things for better life.
But isn't it the ultimate dream, really, that there should be no need for places like the SOS villages?
Well, the best thing would be that they just wither away because they are not needed. But I'm not sure this is going to happen. As I always think of myself as a person who must understand reality of human nature, the reality of what is happening. And sometimes it's a very shocking experience to meet certain people. Can you imagine a very highly educated couple met me some time back? They want to leave their child with me because they want to pursue higher studies somewhere else. Very good people. The value systems are changing, I must say.
Mr. Kaul, thank you very much. That's
Thank
been
you
a great
lot.
pleasure.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot.